Here is why the Wizards aren't starting training camp within a week. The 2025-26 NBA season is fast approaching, and fans around the league are starting to get excited. In less than a month, the Washington Wizards will play their first preseason game at home against the Toronto Raptors on the 12th of October. Just a little over a month later, the Wizards will kick off the regular season on the road against the Milwaukee Bucks on the 22nd of October. But if you've been following training camp updates, you may have noticed something interesting. The Wizards aren't starting camp as early as some other teams. Why is that the case? To answer this, it helps to look at how different teams structure their preseason schedules. For example, teams like the Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers, New Orleans Pelicans, and Phoenix Suns may begin media days or reporting days as early as the 23rd of September. Training camps for these teams could start as early as the 24th of September, almost a week before the Wizards officially open their doors. In contrast, the Wizards, and a few other teams, have their training camps and media days set to start on the 29th of September. At first glance, that might make fans wonder, is this a disadvantage? Or is there a specific reason for the later start? The answer has a lot to do with scheduling conflicts and travel demands. Some teams are participating in overseas preseason games, which require extra time for adjustment. For instance, the New York Knicks and Philadelphia 76ers will play in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, on October the 2nd and 4th. Similarly, the New Orleans Pelicans will face NBL, National Basketball League, teams in Australia on October the 3rd and 5th. The Brooklyn Nets and Phoenix Suns are set to play in Macau on October the 10th and 12th. These international trips mean players will need extra time to manage jet lag, adjust to new time zones, and recover physically before games. Starting camp earlier helps these teams get a head start on preparation so they can perform at their best abroad. For the Wizards, however, the schedule is a bit more conventional. They aren't traveling internationally, so there's less urgency to begin camp a full week early. By starting on the 29th of September, they can still get in ample preparation, practice sessions, and preseason games before the regular season grind begins. This approach allows players to build chemistry on the court without the added stress of international travel. From a fan's perspective, there are pros and cons to both approaches. International preseason games have become increasingly popular because they help the NBA expand its global audience. Fans overseas get to see NBA talent live, and teams gain exposure in markets they might not usually reach. The novelty of watching your favorite NBA team play halfway across the world generates excitement and sometimes even sparks new fan bases. On the other hand, sticking to a traditional preseason like the Wizards are doing has its advantages as well. Players have a familiar environment for practice and games, and coaches can focus on strategy and team dynamics without the distractions of travel and cultural adjustments. It also gives local fans the chance to watch more games in person, which is always a plus for building a home court connection before the season starts. The Wizards are entering this season with plenty of expectations. After a few roster changes and a summer of development for young players, training camp will be crucial for setting the tone. Even though they aren't starting as early as some teams, they still have enough time to fine-tune plays, test lineups, and get ready for the rigors of the 82-game regular season. The first few weeks of practice will focus on fundamentals, team chemistry, and conditioning, ensuring players are in peak shape for both preseason and regular season challenges. Ultimately, the timing of training camps is about strategy and logistics. Teams that travel internationally need extra time to acclimate, while teams like the Wizards can follow a more traditional schedule without compromising preparation. For fans, this means everyone gets something slightly different. Some will see NBA action across the globe, while others will enjoy a classic preseason build-up in familiar arenas. Either way, the excitement for the new season is palpable, and the Wizards fans can start counting down the days until the first tip-off in mid-October. Whether you're planning to attend preseason games or just following along online, it's a reminder that the NBA is more than just the regular season. It's a global enterprise with careful planning behind every tip-off. And for the Wizards, that conventional approach might just be what they need to hit the ground running when the season officially begins.